already know that we need more than pretty photos to stand out. We all know that the best photography clients are attracted to photographers with a style that's unique to them. When done right, your style is going to build trust, raise your perceived value as an artist, and make your dream clients say, take my money. And yet, so few photographers actually have this done right. Why is that? Part of it is the myth that you have to wait for a style to evolve over a long period of time. But if you're like me, waiting has never been my style. So in this video, we're gonna cover a faster way to actively build your style starting now. First off, let's clarify what I mean by style. We're not just talking about editing styles like light and airy or dark and moody, or shooting styles like lifestyle or documentary. Those broad labels might help clients filter, but they're not what sets you apart. So for example, two photographers can both shoot a light and airy style, but one might lean nostalgic, film-like, soft and intimate, while the other leans more crisp, bright, full of life, movement, and laughter. Same genre, completely different feeling. And your true style goes so much deeper, way deeper than just an editing look. It's how you shoot, it's how you edit, and it's even what you choose to share. It's the mood, it's the emotion, and it's the artistic choices that you make over and over again without even realizing it. All of these small, nuanced decisions add up to your signature style, or what I like to think of as your visual fingerprint. But with so many photographers out there, how do you actually develop a style that stands out? Great question. For most great artists, your style is something that's both intuitive and intentional. The intuitive part is going to evolve naturally over time through experience, experimentation, and just the evolution of you as a person and an artist. But contrary to what many will tell you, you don't have to wait around for your style to just magically appear one day when you're 60. You can and you should shape it on purpose. Because when you do, business becomes so much easier. When I was first getting started, I felt completely invisible to my dream clients. The photography market at that time was so crowded with amazingly talented photographers that it felt impossible to stand out. It wasn't until I started really taking steps to figure out what could set me apart that things began to shift. Soon after that, I went from booking $800 budget weddings where clients chose me largely based on my low prices to, over the course of a year, quadrupling my rates, to where I am today, where five-figure clients flow my way with ease. And it really all started by doing the exact process we're about to walk through together. But if the idea of finding a style that's distinct and unique to you feels like this really tall order, I want to let you in on the good news. You already have all the raw material. But just like a diamond starts as a rough stone, what sets great artists apart from others is that they refine and polish those elements into something intentional and iconic. Take Annie Leibovitz, for example, who's known for cinematic portraits with rich storytelling and painterly lighting. Or Sally Mann's work, which is made of haunting black and white photographs of her children that are raw and deeply intimate. Joyce Tennyson's work is ethereal and dreamlike with its soft focus featuring portraits of women, flowers, and texture. All three are different, but have work that's instantly respected and recognizable. How about your style? These 5 steps will help you fast track and shape it with intention. Step 1 is to discover what your dream client loves. Start by getting in the headspace of your dream client. If you're not sure who that is yet, don't overthink this. Simply think of somebody that you'd love to photograph. Maybe it's a friend or an acquaintance or even somebody that you follow online. Or if you've had clients already, reflect on the ones that you loved working with, who you would love to book over and over again, or who you'd love to book their dream client friends. But I also recommend taking things a step further by imagining a new dream client, somebody that lights you up creatively and has no problem investing in your highest package. This is what I like to call your aspirational dream client. They might be a few steps ahead of you in lifestyle or income. Maybe they shop where you only dream of shopping, or travel how you would love to travel, or simply just value art and experience at a more premium level. Don't let that intimidate you. Let it inspire you. Because if you can speak to that person through your work, everyone else will feel it too. So the next question is, how do you get in the headspace of somebody that you're not at all familiar with yet? Easy. Study the things they love. When I was first starting out, I'd visit the most expensive stores that were around me. I arrived at Saks Fifth Avenue in my bell-bottom jeans and messy t-shirt, completely out of place. But I was on a mission. I looked at the clothing. I noticed the soft lighting in the store, the minimal but intentional presentation. Everything felt curated and high-end, and I asked myself, how can I bring that same feeling into my photography? And I kept going to boutiques, to designer stores. I looked at the websites. I studied the vibe and the visuals. The images I saw were modern and editorial and full of motion. They showcase this carefree lifestyle. Even today, that influence still shows up in my work. Now it's your turn. Start building a mood board titled What They Love. Use Pinterest or a folder on your desktop to gather together photos, ad campaigns, magazine spreads, brand visuals, or anything that reflects your dream client's taste. But just knowing what they love isn't enough, because the most magnetic brands don't just reflect the client's taste, they bring in the artist's vision too. And that leads us into step number 2, discover what you love. What are you personally drawn towards as an artist? What kind of images make you pause, feel something, wish you had taken them? Collect together any imagery that you love. Again, you can use Pinterest for this, Canva, a folder on your desktop, or even put together a physical mood board. Just give yourself some sort of place to gather together inspiration that speaks to you. And when you do this, I want you to focus on 2 things. First is your own work. Look back at what you've already created. What are the top 5 to 10 photos you've taken that feel the most you? And then second is to look at outside inspiration. This could be other photographers you admire, but also think a bit broader. Look at magazine editorials, paintings, music videos, movies, really anything. And when something stops you in your scroll, ask yourself, what do I love about this? Is it the emotion, the lighting, the mood, the composition, the movement? Try to name it, because these little preferences are breadcrumbs to your style. And once you've collected together a little pile of magic, a mix of your favorite images and outside inspiration, we can then move on to the next step. Step number 3, identify patterns and the overlap. Now that you've collected together both what you love and what your dream client loves, it's time to spot the patterns. Look closely to see if you can pinpoint recurring elements such as lighting choices, composition, perspective, simplicity versus detail, colors and tones, the emotion, the energy, the vibe. The goal is really to begin noticing patterns. These little micro decisions are clues. Together, they begin to form your artistic fingerprint. Another thing I like to look at is the overlap between what you love and what resonates with your dream clients. This area is the sweet spot I call your profitable photography style. By the way, if you're enjoying this, I actually break this all down much more in depth as part of my Profitable Portfolio Bootcamp, a free online workshop I run once a year for photographers who want to elevate their work and attract better paying clients. I'll drop the waitlist link below if you want to join in the fun. The important thing I want you to know is this style overlap will keep evolving into your unique and profitable style. This will be the combination of things that make your work special and distinct as an artist. For example, here are some elements that make up my signature style. Emotion-driven imagery. I aim to photograph how it felt, not just how it looked. Vibrant energy. My work celebrates the playful, joyful side of love. It's also why my brand tagline is Vibrant Hearts Unite. Atmospheric. I love using light and landscape to create a mood that you can feel. Minimalist backdrops. I'm drawn towards clean, uncluttered backgrounds that strip away the distractions and bring the full focus to the people, their personalities, and connection. Everything in the frame must have a purpose. Wide open spaces. I love expansive locations and white space, whether it's the desert, city, ocean, or an off-the-beaten-path destination. Natural movement. I favor energy and movement over static poses and believe the in-between moments are where the magic lives. Romance. I use soft tones, warm light, and subtle direction to create an intimate, romantic feel. Editorial. I love incorporating a stylized polish that makes the photos feel like they could live in a magazine. Filmic and timeless. I shoot and edit in a way that brings a light and airy, yet film-inspired aesthetic. The tones have a softness and depth to them, and I don't flatten my edits. There's still dimension in the shadows and separation between subject and background. It's airy, but never washed out. Once you've found your own words or themes, write them down. These will become your creative compass, something that you can come back to when shooting, when editing, and curating your work. And this actually leads us into our next step: intentionally and unapologetically curate. Your style is not just what you create, it's what you choose to share. Not every good photo belongs in your portfolio. Not every client session needs to be showcased. You've got to be ruthless. Only share images that directly align with where you want to go with your work. That random cat photo that you love, it's got a scat. That cool landscape, save it for a separate just for fun space. You can definitely still shoot anything you want, but unless it reflects the style that you're intentionally cultivating as a professional, don't include it in your body of work. Only show what aligns with what you want to become known for. And I know that this is hard to hear and it's even harder to do, but this right here is how you begin to build a photography brand that sets you apart. This is how you shift from being seen as a hobbyist to becoming an art director of your images. And that actually leads into number 5, which is to start shooting like an art director. Shooting like an art director is actually a big topic, and it's one I cover inside my photography course, Shoot to Edit. But there's 2 things that I want you to take away today. First is the importance of mastering your craft. In the beginning, every artist finds that there's this gap between the vision that you have in your head and your ability to actually bring it to life. The only thing that closes this gap is practice. So shoot every weekend, even if the photos suck. Seriously, all the greats in every field have one thing in common: they practice. The more that you master your craft, experiment, and actually get out there and shoot, the faster your style will evolve. The next thing I want you to focus on is to start thinking bigger than just one-off shoots. Shoot with the intention of creating a body of work. And approaching your shoots this way as a set of related images will immediately elevate the way you shoot, the way you edit, and the way you curate. This is how art directors view their work. Art directors are masterfully skilled in their craft and consider every part of an image, from the lighting to the composition to the editing and even the final presentation. All these micro decisions play a role in creating images that are unmistakably yours. And if you want help doing this with me as your mentor, walking you through step by step, my signature course, Shoot to Edit, reopens soon. I'll drop a link below if you want to check it out. Start putting some real effort into discovering what your clients love, combine that with what you love, and then look for the patterns and the overlap. That's the sweet spot. The foundation of a style that feels true to you and also super magnetic to the people that you most want to work with. From there, you'll be able to start shooting and curating with more intention like an art director. Now that you've got the blueprint for building a style that actually stands out, let's make sure that your portfolio shows it off the right way. Watch this video here next, where I walk you through the 3 stages of a standout portfolio so that you can start attracting the right clients with confidence. I'll see you there.